Warrior fans, we've had a pretty good offseason. A lot of the comments are saying the same thing, but we're missing that one big fish. We know what's hanging over our head, Lauri Markkanen. And we have an update for you on this episode of Warriors Digest, coming from the Warriors side and from the Jazz side. In addition, I have an update for you too. We got a new setup here so you can see me talk when we're going over the key photos, key words. So we're going to go over today Warriors offseason and Lauri Markkanen. Again, from both sides, Randy Silver here in Warriors Digest. Thank you. If you're part of the 11% subscribe, if you're part of that 88%, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss daily videos coming out on Warriors channel. And we have people like this. Jagger like 7323 subscribe. Thank you so much. Aaron Mark 24. That smile is golden. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. I believe you're up with the best of them. Love from Grenada in the Caribbean. Thank you from the Caribbean, Grenada. Ramon here, my man. I canceled all my other subscriptions about the Warriors, but I stayed and still subscribed in your channel from the Philippines. Keep all the good news up about the Warriors. You're the best. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ramon. And it means so much to have you all the way in the Philippines where I'm here in the United States. We've had people from the Caribbean, Europe, South America, Canada, of course, the United States, all commenting, a part of the Warriors Digest. And right here, last one, Aldo Road Germs 6973. Keep up the good work, bro. Glad I found someone who can keep me up to date with what is happening. I'm a Dub Nation fan. One love. And that's what we do here, keeping you up to date on all the news breaking in the Warriors world. Thank you for all the comments. Even if I didn't put them in here, it means the world to me. And we're going to start with today's topic. There's legitimate belief that the Warriors are one large move away from making legitimate noise, per Anthony Slater, a Warriors insider. But the Warriors feel comfortable heading into the season with their current roster. Golden State feels that they have all the way up the trade deadline to make that larger scale move. Should an opportunity not present itself sooner than that. So remember, this is where the team is at right now. You got Steph, Brandon, Wiggins, Kuminga, and Draymond as your starters per ESPN. And again, now we can go here so you can see this why I talk. I disagree. I think Kuminga plays the forward. Wiggins is your sixth man. And you have Trayce Jackson-Davis coming off from the bench and starting. And Draymond starts at the 4. This season, who we get? This offseason, who we get? Buddy Hield, sign and trade from Philadelphia. Melton, signed over from Philadelphia. Waters, trade from OKC. Kyle Anderson, sign and trade from Minnesota. So we have some nice role players, a lot of wing players, guards, but not that big man in the middle. If we look again, and now let me make this bigger so it's easier to see. This is where the payroll is at. Reese Beekman, we drafted as an undrafted rookie. Great point guard, it seems like, coming out of ACC Virginia. Two-way player, all a very good defensive player. Think GP2, but more athletic offensively. And this is where the offseason started. Let me pull it up for you. Klay Thompson was there. Chris Paul was there. $30 million off the book. So we got rid of 2 players. And Lester Quinones, again, Usman, Garuba, a couple other players. But long story short, we got rid of 2 main players, Klay Thompson and Chris Paul. And what did we do? We got in Hield 1, Melton 2, Waters 3, Kyle Anderson 4. 2 for the price of 4. And of course, Quinton Post, the second round pick, 7-footer, could be helpful. So that is why the Warriors are saying here, per the rumors, that they feel comfortable with this. We don't need to make a trade quite yet. Yes, we want Lauri Markkanen. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But if the Jazz aren't going to play ball, then, stay put and see where you have. The first half of the NBA season is really about finding your footing. And then trade deadline, there are always teams trying to make trades for 2 reasons, or 3. No, there's more. 1, their team's not good, so shed salary. Maybe you can get a star. 2, somebody on an expiring contract who said they're not going to resign. Jimmy Butler said he wants to test free agency. Maybe the Heat try to trade him at the trade deadline and try to get something back if he walks for free. And then other reasons, but those are the 2 main ones. So the Warriors are feeling pretty good. And of course, what does that also mean? Again, when we look here, does Brandon take a step up after being a first-team all-rookie? Kuminga, does he become an all-star level player this year? Does Wiggins get back to his form? Does Trayce Jackson-Davis keep getting better? So there's opportunities there. Does Moody get more playing time? So see what you got, and if you need to make a trade, but don't rush into a trade. And we talked about this earlier that the Warriors are hard capped at $177 million, $178 million. They can't go over it. So they're really not going to be able to make any more signings. It comes down to trades. So this is your three brought in. Again, Melton on the right, Heel in the middle, and Anderson on the left. Looking good in Warriors jerseys. So for Markkanen, what's happening there? Golden State remains in the hunt for Markkanen and has entered into a waiting period regarding trade talks with Utah. Slater also reported. A waiting period. So why would there be a waiting period? Again, it's because of the contract that Markkanen is on. He's in the last year of his contract. And we've offered 2 first-round picks potentially for him, and plus potentially some other players. That's pretty good for someone who may walk next year if he doesn't sign a new contract. Markkanen saying, hey, I don't want to be here. If Jazz don't trade him, they get nothing back. 2 first-round picks. We know the Kings offered multiple first-round picks as well. Jazz were not playing ball. As a result, they traded Buddy Hield and a first-round pick to the Spurs, and they got DeMar DeRozan from Chicago in a 3-team trade. So the Warriors potentially have offered 2 first-round picks. A multi-team trade, let me make this bigger for you. A multi-team trade in which the Warriors would deal Wiggins to acquire more draft assets for Utah, and a Markkanen trade is a possibility, sources said. Moses Moody, pick swaps, and expiring contracts of Kevon Looney and Gary Payton are all assets the Warriors have. So what does that mean? Again, let's take a look at this. Let's make it small. Let's go back here. So let's show you what they got. Let me make this bigger for you so you can see it. So GP2, $9 million 1 year on this contract. Looney, $8 million 1 year on this contract. Moody, $5 million 1 year on this contract. And then we saw Wiggins, $26 million. So let me make this small again. So what does that mean? We have to trade, because we're at that first apron, matching salary. We can't bring any more in. Right now, Markkanen is making $18 million a year. So we have to match that salary in the trade. Wiggins, $26 million would be too much. So that means that a 3-team trade would have to happen, or the Jazz would have to give us multiple players. So another player or 2, depending how to match $26 million. You could potentially do GP2, Looney for $17 million. You're basically right there. Or you could do Looney plus Moody, $5 million. That puts you at $13 million. And then draft picks. Again, you could do Wiggins and draft picks. So there has to be a combination to match that Markkanen $18 million if they were to make the trade with his 1-year contract expiring. And then, boom, we can extend him. I just put up the video. I saw a lot of people loved it. Again, talking about it's time to extend Kuminga and Moody. So you can see here, if you don't think you're going to extend Moody and you want to extend Kuminga and you want to get another player back, then Moody becomes a trade asset because he has 1 year left in his deal and doesn't walk. Both these players, if we don't extend them and they go get a contract next offseason, as I said, they become restricted free agents. We can match that next offseason if we need to. So again, Warriors potentially have offered 2-round picks. There are some players we could trade as well. And any possible Markkanen trade that would materialize, again, may not happen until August 6th. And that is because Markkanen becomes extension eligible. So again, remember that right there. 2 first-round picks, the players here, but again, that may not happen again until August 6th. And we broke about that. That is when Utah can extend Markkanen. So they could give him 3, 4, 5-year type of deal and give him a new contract. And then at that point, he becomes much more valuable to sell to a team, trade to a team, because he may not walk after 1 year. You're not sure what his mind is. You have him under team control. Now, again, a lot of people pointed this out in the comments, which was great, that if they extend him August 6th, then they can't trade him for 6 months, which basically takes you to the trade deadline, All-Star break-ish, that area. And the Warriors may know, hey, we should trade for him. That's the missing piece to a great playoff run, championship run, or it's not worth it and we save our tails and we do something else. The Jazz aren't in a hurry to trade Markkanen, and Slater reports that there's belief around the NBA that the Jazz ultimately will sign the 2017 number 7 overall draft pick to a lucrative extension rather than trade him. The Athletic's Tony Jones recently reported that the Kings and Warriors both had substantial offers on the trade, but again, Utah's lack of urgency meant DeMar DeRozan went to the Kings over Lauri Markkanen and trying to fight for that trade. That takes the Kings out of the opportunity. They don't have the cap space to bring him in anymore. They don't really have the playing space now that DeMar DeRozan's there. So the Warriors are there. The Kings are there. Excuse me, the Kings are there. The Spurs are there with how many first-round picks they have. That would be very enticing, the Danny Ainge and the Jazz. We've heard some rumors of Miami Heat. You never know potentially what the Lakers may do. Yes, they've had a very quiet offseason, but always big game hunting. So there's some teams out there that could use him. And again, that's the update here on Lauri Markkanen, is that we now know pretty sure that Warriors offered multiple first-round picks, and the Jazz really are just slow-balling here because of that August 6th. Let me know your thoughts, and you can tell me if you like this new stuff right here. If you want to be a part of the 12% subscribed, it would mean so much. So you get these daily updates, just like our friend from the Caribbean who's loving Warriors Digest, and hopefully you're loving this as well. It means so much to me to have you on this journey with me. Thank you for all the comments. Even if I didn't put them in here, it means the world to me, and I'll see you on the next episode.